Good morning, everyone. My name is Harrison Kirchen. I'm going to be moderating this podcast today. I am joined by Jeff Matthews, Mason Gomez, and Francisco Gacuya. Today we're going to be discussing whether marijuana should be federally decriminalized in the United States, and we are the All the Smoke podcast. Thank you for tuning in. So let's get into it, gentlemen. Let's discuss a little bit of the history behind marijuana in the United States and why it was criminalized in the first place.
Yeah. So let's currently talk about how cannabis is currently classified today. Currently on a federal scale, it's classified as a class 1 drug, and this means that it has a high potential for abuse. It is recognized that it has no medicinal benefits, and that the form of usage for the drug is actually considered dangerous. But is this how we continue to see marijuana today?
Yep. I'd like to add to that, but cannabis has existed, or marijuana has existed in human history for over 12,000 years, and it's originally existed in Central Asia, and people have been using it to create weaves like baskets, fibers, and stuff like that. So its use is not only just for recreational use, but it can also be used for like cultural uses.
Yeah, I just want to add on what Jeff says about this federal law and all that. Back in 80s, there's this Right Spirit campaign that they created, the military, specifically when I was in the Navy. I was in the Navy in 80s, but after I joined, I heard all this stuff, Right Spirit campaign, where they make you pee every day to see if you're gonna pop positive or whatnot, you know. And once you pop positive, they'll yank it out, so they kick you out.
Absolutely, yeah, and this kind of all is along the lines of the stigma, unfortunately, that this drug has in the United States, and it all has roots in the early 1900s when the Mexican Revolution was occurring. And around 1910, there was an influx of Mexican immigrants to the United States as a result of all the strife in Mexico and the revolution going on, and they brought with them their tradition of smoking marijuana. And this kind of was the introduction to the United States of this drug.
Yeah, and in an article by Mark Antoine Kroc in the National Health Institute's article, it states that people have been trading marijuana for hundreds of years, and that's how kind of its use got spread over through trade routes, especially through like the Silk Road and stuff like that. So it's like a notable point to make.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, the publicity surrounding this drug, even at the original time that it was introduced in the United States, it was originally called cannabis, like originally mentioned by Jeff. And it was changed, the name, or the colloquial name, from cannabis to marijuana because, according to Amy Tikkanen of Britannica, to promote the foreignness of the drug and thus stoke xenophobia. So it's no surprise to myself, or shouldn't be surprise to others, that minorities are disproportionately affected by marijuana arrests, and this has roots even 100 years plus going back, unfortunately. So it's kind of the baseline that we started with here.
So we talk about like marijuana as a class 1 drug, but what does this actually mean? It means that like we, on the federal scale, it isn't able to be prescribed, dispensed, or administered to any of your patients, no matter what. And in an interview last year in August of 2025 by Skylar Woodlark, she interviewed President Donald Trump, and they had actually talked about how they are considering reclassification of marijuana into a Schedule 2 or a potential Schedule 3, but no further talks about this reclassification have ever been considered. So who knows where this is going to go from here for cannabis in the near future.
Wait, so why did this stigma, like, where did this bad stigma for this drug come from?
It pretty much came from, there was an influx of Mexican immigrants in the early 1900s, and this influx caused xenophobia from people that were living in areas that they went to.
Oh, and
they brought their tradition with them. So it was kind of like who are these
new
new
like
scary
racist,
people type
and,
of thing.
And they kind of took their practices.
Yeah.
So
they didn't take them. They said we shouldn't be doing this, and we need to make it illegal, pretty much.
Jeff mentioned earlier about the federal law, specifically on the patient. I have a friend of mine who have insomnia, and he went to the doctor, got prescription, and boom, he went to sleep every night really good.
Yeah, and that's definitely a great use of it, and I wish that could be the case in all 50 contiguous or all 50 United States, because it really does depend on where you are. In California, you can either get a medical license card or you can just go in and buy it recreationally, but that's not the case in the majority of the United States.
Yeah, like in California, there's weed dispensaries everywhere. Like
We probably passed 4 of them on the way here.
I know, like especially in Vallejo, right? It's be popping over there,
Plenty of them.
dude. Yeah,
Uh,
it's so bad.
Yeah, so I read a research article by Lisa Butler in the Journal of Drug Issues. She posted this in October 2025, but she states how the stigmatized attitude, political ideology, personal use, and location are all affecting the population's decision on marijuana as well, more than the effects of their personal use or the attitudes of their peers around them. So we see how the location, the policies are kind of more of an influence than just who they surround themselves with.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, it just kind of all circles back to the stigma. I mean, the head of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics in the 1930s, this man, Harry J. Anslinger, he was the original person to wage a war on marijuana. And he was making crazy racist claims and saying that only minorities smoke marijuana. And I won't say the other quote because of how insane it is, but this campaign, along with other things in pop culture at the time, such as the movie Reefer Madness, which portrayed marijuana as something that literally makes you go insane if consumed, kind of led to the Marijuana Tax Act, which was effectively a ban in 1937 on marijuana, which evolved into the Controlled Substances Act, which you had mentioned as well.
So basically, this is like a race thing.
For sure.
So that's where it all originated from.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy because like I feel like everyone can get weed nowadays. It's so easy, especially like school and stuff. There's always people that be selling weed.
What
But
was
not
the age
everyone
now?
is punished equally
Yeah.
for it.
What was the age now? 18 or 21?
18 is medical, 21 is recreational.
Wait, so right now, what's the is it legal here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. So in 1996, California made medical licenses a thing and legal.
Uh-huh.
So you were able to, if you have anxiety, if you have insomnia, etc.,
Uh-huh.
you can get a doctor's note and you can get prescription.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember. I want to say in
And
2015.
do you
it was
smoke it if
recreational.
you have like the prescription, or like what do you?
You can. I
Oh,
think it
you
depends
smoke
on,
it?
on
That's
your issue.
crazy.
Like if you have a lung issue, I doubt they would prescribe you actual things to smoke. They'd
Uh-huh.
probably give you like edibles or something.
Uh-huh.
But it's probably case by case. But you can for sure.
Oh wow.
Yeah, gentlemen, anything else on the history before we get into our next topic here? Alrighty, so we've spent a little bit of time discussing the history of marijuana prior to criminalization in the United States. We're going to move on to our next topic, which we've bled into a little bit, which is our arguments for the legalization of marijuana in the United States. So, gentlemen, take us away. Why should we legalize this drug here?
There's a lot of niche uses for marijuana. Like you said, some people need it for insomnia and stuff like that. So it's perfect for people who like need to just chill down and calm down. So I think that's pretty good use. I mean, that's what most people use it for anyway. So
A lot of the times we see these patients who have these medical prescriptions for marijuana get it in forms of stress relief or, for as Mason said, it's insomnia. But I feel like the biggest use that we could use these for, or the cannabis stress relief effects, would be patients who are suffering possible from PTSD and like these very post-traumatic stress like events where this could help them get past that without necessarily reaching for something worse.
yeah,
Certainly.
yeah.
There was this in YouTube that I saw. I just can't remember what. It's about an old guy with dementia, and he's shaking.
Yeah.
He's shaking, and the CBD, they drop in his mouth while he's shaking, and he starts cooling down.
But what is CBD? Is that?
That, I can't remember the name or what the acronym stands for, but it doesn't have the psychoactive.
They don't have the
thing in
THC, just the
marijuana that,
CBD.
yeah, THC is the psychoactive
but-
part.
I mean, what is that thing like where it's like it's the best of the worst choices? That's kind of how I feel like marijuana is.
Pick your
Like,
poison.
Yeah, pick your poison. I feel like out of like Jeff was saying, but if you were to pick a use or have someone use a drug, it would probably be weed because that's honestly like the best of the worst. You know what I mean?
Well, scientifically proven, if you hit marijuana, you have THC and CBD, right?
Uh-huh.
They're combined, right? If
Uh-huh.
you separate those, CBD just make you relax.
Uh-huh.
No highness.
Uh-huh.
But the THC, you go way up there.
Yeah,
So
way up there.
Yeah, that's a good explanation for sure. And you're right that is starting to become more of the prevailing sentiment for a lot of people of, if I'm going to do something or if I'm going to have
It's
something
weed,
that's a
yeah.
vice, it would be that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there still are, like mentioned, the stigmas that do stick around from even the early 1900s. I mean, According to the Marijuana Policy Project, in 2019, the FBI reported 663,367 cannabis arrests and citations, which is more than all violent crime arrests combined in the United States in that year. So the amount of people who are arrested for this and cited for this every year is absolutely insane. And like mentioned, this is something that unfortunately affects minorities disproportionately. The amount of black men specifically that are in jail for marijuana-related offenses is statistically much, much higher than any other race across the board. And it's unfortunate.
But you could argue that high arrest number is from like the sheer amount of people who use weed recreationally. I mean, you guys all know someone who uses marijuana or cannabis recreationally. Like, it's so common, and I feel like that's why the number is so high. So
that could be an aspect of it for sure, but there is an even higher aspect of cops looking for certain things in certain people.
Yeah, no, it always is like a race thing.
Yeah.
Rule of thumb: if you want to get away from getting caught driving marijuana, use cannabis. I mean, I'm sorry.
Dude, that's crazy.
Gummy, not cannabis, gummy.
No, they be coming up with crazy crazy ways to evade the cops. I was at work yesterday. I was like in my homie's car. Dude, he had piss bottles in his car.
That is crazy.
Which is actually, that's wild, right?
Get it how you live, I suppose.
I know. He's like, I was like, damn, why do you have so many Gatorade bottles? He's like, bro, these are piss bottles. I'm like,
Wild. But yeah, I mean, one of the biggest problems, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion, with marijuana still being criminalized federally is the amount of money that we spend on it per year, per person that we have to arrest and put in jail for nonviolent or even in some cases violent marijuana offenses.
I believe that's one of the reasons why, right?
Sorry?
One of the reasons why, right? They legalized marijuana here in California.
Part of it, for sure. I mean, the amount of people that we have in jail that we're spending tax dollars on for food, bedding, et cetera, is inordinate. Just in 2019, 663,000, and since 1995, there have been 15 million cannabis arrests in the United States. So just 15 million times however much money per inmate there is, and it's an inordinate amount of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's tax money.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, if it were to be federally legalized, hopefully we would also give a means for people who are in jail currently that are having nonviolent offenses to be able to get out of jail or have a way to be able to commute their sentences in any way, because this is so much money that is being wasted on gentlemen who are smoking a tree.
yeah. And moving on to like the niche health benefits, in a Taylor and Francis article by Linda Boyd in April 16, 2025, there's some niche research that says that weed can be used for like memory-related diseases like dementia or like Alzheimer's and stuff like that, and it helps with memory. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if your grandma has dementia, have her smoke weed, I guess.
Could help, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what? Like Snoop Dogg, right? He smoke a lot of weed.
Oh, yeah.
You see his creative mind works while he's high? He is really good.
That is actually a good, no,
You
that's
know what I
actually
mean?
a good point. That actually is very, a
His
lot of creative minds to use
mind
weed.
was like from here to there when he's high.
It
Yeah.
does have that effect, yeah.
Yeah.
No, a lot of creative artists do use weed. Like, they need to get high to like be able to create.
You can. I think the whatever that highness, the THC or whatnot, is manipulate that creative mind to where you cannot think this way if you're not high, but if you're high, you'd be like, I could do this.
Oh, he opened
Yeah.
up his third eye. I feel
You know
him.
what I mean? Like open the eye, like open the cans and stuff. You know?
Yeah, he's opened up the third eye. I feel
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Absolutely.
That's where it's almost like a good idea to research into the effects of
Yeah.
cannabis on patients who have like OCD or ADHD and how it might benefit them even, and help them with their deficiencies and being able to focus better in those environments.
And that's proven. I've seen that in YouTube.
Oh, Francisco, I need to see you on some weed. Not gonna lie.
But yeah, I mean, all of these are definitely valid points, and this is before we even mention that statistically and factually, marijuana is a safer alternative to alcohol. The amount of deaths in this country alone that are attributed to alcohol, whether it's drunk driving, whether it's abuse, whether it's domestic violence instances involved with alcohol, the statistic for weed is an incredibly much lower one, even including DUIs and things like that. And alcohol is legal in all 50 states.
I'm gonna say I agree to that because my brother-in-law, his son from his first wife, almost always smoking weed every time, and he's doing Uber. and lit. And
Not recommended, people.
Yo, he's high while driving, man.
His focusness is like right there. Unlike
He's
if you drink
locked in.
alcohol and driving,
Yeah.
you know, it's like disaster.
Yeah, well, I
Okay.
mean, both of them are drugs, just to be clear. You shouldn't be driving under the influence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though, bro. All these NBA players be smoking weed. I think it's like a taboo that it's bad for your
I
like
think they
lungs.
do, man.
Dude,
I think they do.
bro. It's like they do better on weed, bro. There's some NBA players who play high. You know, KD, he be
Yeah.
playing high.
And NFL too, like Megatron, Calvin Johnson,
Yeah.
etc.
I mean, it might be like a buff. You know what I'm saying? Like
Not
a
only that, I
plus
have
25 attributes.
There was this guy in the gym. I met him. He always is smoking every time he go to the gym, and he can carry that. He can carry that weight. He can do all that physical activities just like nothing because he's high.
And that's another thing that I'm not sure if we've mentioned too is pain relief. I think it was
Yeah.
briefly
That's-
mentioned.
Yo,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did read about that pain neutralizer.
Pain relief is
Yeah.
a major use case
Yeah.
for this as well. And going back to the kind of tax benefits if this were to be legalized federally, just since 2014, according to the Marijuana Policy Project, states with legal marijuana have brought in $29 billion in tax
Wow.
revenue. So states
Yeah.
like California,
Yeah.
Colorado, and these funds can be moved and appropriated to things like infrastructure, roads, education, and so on and so forth. So that's
They-
$29 billion that these states didn't have before that they can now use to make their states better and make their people's lives better as well.
That's crazy bank.
That's crazy.
Yep. Imagine,
See.
and that's for
See, they
probably
can use
5 or
that though
6
with
states.
they can use that to help Vallejo Police Department because like you know they hella defunded and you know they don't be doing anything. So
They certainly could. I mean, they could use the funds for anything. They could use it on the rail project in California that is never going to be completed. It could be used for anything under the sun. And that's another thing, you know, if we have a lot of these gentlemen, and mostly gentlemen, I won't over stereotype, but if we have these people in jail for nonviolent marijuana crimes, if we are to legalize this, I personally think it's wrong to let the world continue to move on with them in jail for something that is no longer the law.
Did I let go some of the prisoners when they legalized that marijuana?
I think a handful got pardoned, but
Yeah.
the vast majority of them are still doing time, unfortunately. But yeah, so far we've been talking about the history of marijuana in the United States and leading to its criminalization. We've discussed arguments for legalization in the United States for marijuana, and now we're going to discuss kind of the other side of things and give arguments against legalization for marijuana in the United States. So, gentlemen, take us away. Give us kind of the opposite side of things.
So Jeff.
So,
I can start us off. So,
Yeah.
there are a lot of different groups in the United States that still believe that marijuana should be criminalized and remain criminalized federally. A lot of these kind of fall under religious groups, kind of police groups, et cetera, et cetera. One quote that I was able to get is, one reason marijuana should not be decriminalized federally is it could, quote, cause disorientation, unpleasant thoughts, anxiety, paranoia, depression, and even suicide, according to Lauren Shank of the Liberty Champion in 2022. And this is definitely true in some cases. Overuse of any drug can cause negative issues, of course. Overuse of marijuana has been linked to schizophrenia in some cases as well. So these are definitely some downfalls of marijuana use, or definitely abuse of marijuana.
Yeah, there's like a plethora of medical dangers, and I mean like many.
Mhm.
Like it's too much to count. It definitely outweighs the good. I mean, marijuana can cause like nausea and vomiting as well, and
If you cannot control it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
so it definitely outweighs the bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on what Harrison says about federal law and all that. We have majority of our federal agency are mostly military,
Yeah.
especially the Air Force, Navy, and all that. I think that's one of the reasons why they say no, not federal because of that. Because mishap, when you have mishap, that's real serious stuff.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely.
so we can kind of talk about that a little bit. How like the use of alcohol is much more widely accepted compared to the actual use of cannabis, though. Like we see these service members who are drinking a lot more. If you are working under the government, that's all you can do is you drink. So you're going to drink a lot more. You have a lot more chance to lead to abuse. And in an actual in a research article by Doug Selman in the editorial, he researched how ethanol, which is just alcohol, is compared to delta 9, the THC compound in cannabis, it is 9 times more. Out of the 13 aspects, 9 of the aspects, it is considered more deadly, which would be the motor vehicle accidents, as well as just rates of depression causing people to take their own lives. It is just such a,
Yeah.
the comparison between the two is so bad.
Yeah, it is a stark comparison, and it's interesting kind of how culturally we're so used to alcohol and how some of us still have yet to come around to this drug, marijuana itself. And a lot of it is the stigma, a lot of it is religious groups. I read quite a few articles arguing that it shouldn't be legalized because it's not mentioned in the Bible, which I'm not sure why that would have effect on American government and politics personally. But there's for sure a lot of different reasons as to why someone would be opposed to it. Any other ones we can think of for now, gentlemen?
Oh, yeah, in an article by Springer Nature by Freeman TP on March 7, 2025, it states the drug can lead to severe cardiovascular problems and like heart problems, and also disrupts learning and cognitive ability in teenagers, especially teenagers, but even, it don't matter the age, any age, it affects the cognitive ability to focus and learn. So if you have little Timmy smoking weed high off his mind in freshman classroom, like, he's not going to get no work done, you feel me?
Certainly. Yeah, and that's a very, very valid point. The prefrontal cortex, I know in men, I think it fully develops at age 25, and I want to say in women it's slightly earlier at 21 or 22 or something like that, but you're 100% right. Use of this drug prior to full development of the brain and even afterwards, it definitely can affect cognition for sure.
It'll make you eat good.
Yo, oh yeah, the munchies, bro. I
It'll
give
make
you
you
them.
eat good.
See, I know you be on weed, Francisco, because you know about them munchies, bro.
But yeah, kind of continuing off of that, another argument or arguments against legalization of marijuana is legalization can increase access for children or for teenagers or adolescents to be able to go and purchase this drug more than they would be able to if it were on the street. Like mentioned before, in most states that have medical marijuana programs, it's 18 with a doctor's prescription, and then if they do have recreational as well, it's 21. So theoretically, in these states and in this state, an 18-year-old can get a medical marijuana card and then go to the
Hey,
dispensary.
can we just talk about the smell? Like, goddamn, the
Smells
smell
like
is
skunk.
so potent. LA smells like weed, bro.
Like
I'm not
skunk.
gonna lie. Bro, it just like, you could just tell when someone smoked weed. It's just like the way they like, the eyes, bro, it's so bad. So I don't think it's very good in like professional setting.
And that's a valid point too, you know, the social aspect of it. One, is it acceptable to smoke in social aspects if there's children around, et cetera, and there should definitely be guidelines in those
We
cases.
keep the same kind of like social concepts around other substances as well. We see it with alcohol. Someone who's drunk in public and intoxicated, they go spend time in the jail overnight. Go
In the
drink,
drunk
go
tank,
sleep
yeah.
it off. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it just all depends how like the public perceives it.
Yep. For sure. But yeah, let me see here. Kind of, just like I was saying, according to the National Bureau of Economic Research, legalization, quote, increased both marijuana use and marijuana abuse and dependence in people 21 and older. So of course the argument is access can lead to dependence and it can lead to abuse as well. It is just like any other drug. It can be used safely. It can be used in moderation. But the argument from some groups is that the access can lead to abuse, just like I said.
Yeah, and then in an article I read, it can lead to acute rewarding effects, which is like the constant need to have marijuana if you're addicted to it, or like intoxication, like people just like getting high. You feel? Like, so it can eat up a lot of your money. So it's
Certainly.
bad.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, any kind of closing thoughts on the argument against decriminalization here?
Oh, at least to like thousands of deaths every year too.
Sorry?
I mean, it leads to thousands of deaths every year, which is
You
also
mean
very hard for.
Like
Hard point.
impairment and driving.
Yeah.
Because I never heard any overdose in marijuana. I never heard any of those.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
like
no
impairment.
No,
historical
no.
overdoses,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
from motor
Yeah.
vehicles
Yeah.
and driving things that are heavier,
Yeah.
etc. Those
So-
they're
Where
for
I was
sure deaths.
gonna
Driving
say
while
with-
intoxicated.
With like my own research and from everyone's personal opinion that I've gotten to know, it's like cannabis seems like it should have some reclassification on the federal scale. It's not class 1.
I agree.
Should be administered, prescribed, should be able to be dispensed legally across the whole country, compared to how you can buy alcohol at the liquor store on every corner street.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And like you mentioned too, there have been talks from the Trump administration to reclassifying this drug, and I feel like that would be a valuable step in this drug. putting this drug on the same level as heroin and meth is a little bit
Yeah,
laughable in
that's
this
kinda
day and
OD.
age.
Overkill.
But that, just like we're talking about with motor vehicles, another issue with the possibility of legalizing this drug is the lack of ability to test for those that are driving with it. You know, we're so used to, with people getting pulled over under suspicion of DUI, to be blowing into a breathalyzer. There is no equivalent for marijuana.
We had drug dogs.
Sorry?
We had drug dogs.
Yeah.
Well, drug dogs to see if it's there, but
and,
I mean,
and I'm talking about the aroma.
That's a different story.
You
Yeah,
can
and
kind of
use.
tell, like the officer can tell when you roll that window.
Oh,
it's
they
just
know.
a-
Yeah, they know.
It's
man.
just like.
well, I mean, if there's smoke billowing out and
Yeah.
you can smell it, that's probable cause, and
Yeah.
you could have a logical arrival to the
Yeah.
to that idea that someone was smoking in
It's
the
the
car
same
and has
thing
been
as having
smoking,
a
but
odor of alcohol on you when you're doing a traffic stop.
Yeah.
The same probable cause.
exactly.
thing.
Or like, oh, you got pulled over for speeding and your eyes are a little bit red, and now you're under suspicion.
You're
things
still
like
doing
that.
something bad.
And maybe your lungs can collapse too. I mean, you never know.
With heavy use.
Yeah.
I'm sure that could be possible for sure.
But in terms of actually using it for recreationally and medicinally in their own personal lives, it should be something that could be really reconsidered federally.
I agree 100%. Any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
No, I mean that's all I got.
Alrighty, so today we've been discussing whether marijuana should be decriminalized federally in the United States. We've gone over a brief history of marijuana in the United States and why it was criminalized in the first place, arguments for legalization and arguments against legalization to kind of give a full picture of the argument. This has been the All the Smoke podcast. I'm Harrison Kirchen. I've been joined by Jeff Matthews, Mason Gomez, and Francisco Gakuya. We'd like to thank you for listening, and we hope that you have a little bit better of an idea of the full picture of this issue and can make a informed decision for yourself on how you're going to think about it from this point on. Thank you for watching.
If you are interested in a career in sports broadcasting,
Whether you're commentating a live game
or hosting your own TV show,
For more information, contact Greg Poff. That's me at solano.edu.
we hope to see you here next semester. And remember,
It's more than just sports, it's an education.